Hello, I'm Zelal Coşkun. Welcome to our online symposium, Linguistic Landscape. Firstly, I want to introduce myself shortly. I'm Zelal Coşkun. I'm 24 years old and I'm graduated from Dicle University as a highest ranked student in 2018. And then I started to work at Üçkuyu Anatolian High School, Yenişehir, Diyarbakır in Turkey. And today, my topic is integrating linguistic landscape into the curriculum. Let's go on. Okay. Let's have a look at our outline of the presentation. I have 3 stages in my presentation: introduction, practice, and evaluation. In my introduction part, I have some information about my target group. I want to talk about my students' backgrounds, age, level, interests, and then I practice. I have 3 subtitles: brands and ads, movie posters, and landscape in daily life. I especially choose these subtitles for my students because my students are 10th grade students. And lastly, evaluation part. In here, this is my final part about outcomes and conclusions. So in this part, I want to mention about contributions to my students and me. Let's see my target group, Üçkuyu Anatolian High School in Diyarbakır, Turkey. I have 20 students. They are 10th grade at the age of 15, 16. B1 English level, namely they are pre-intermediate level and they are interested in brands, ads, movies, social media, friends. So I chose all these topics for my students because they are interested. They love these topics, so I choose these topics and practice language structures that they have learned before with this presentation. And I use Zoom application for my presentation. Let's start then. My first subtitles, brands and ads. In here, I especially chose these brands because these are colorful and these are attractive, interesting brands. So students are really interested in and they love these brands because I want them to make comment on it. There is no certain true answers. They just see these pictures and make comment on it. And then I ask them these questions. And some part of these sentences I used in bold characters because I try to emphasize the important parts of the sentences. Like stand for, as you know, stand for is a phrasal verb. So I used in blue, red face, what the name of, noun clauses, phrasal verbs, or present perfect tense, have you ever. So I emphasized. In here, I want them to write their own slogans. So I emphasized in here was deleted. I use this phrase in red because this is past passive. I try to teach them both linguistic language structures and also I try to them speak English. So my goal is both accuracy and also fluency. My goal is speaking English in both accuracy and fluency. And this one, if I were you, I would write blah, blah as a slogan. In here, I gave them 5 minutes to write their own slogans. And then they write and tell me their slogans. In here, as you see, this is if clause type 2. So I practice these topics with my presentation, as you see. And they told me, drink milk and make strong your bones, or drink milk, be happy, like these slogans. And here Yes, this is my, and now this is my students' turn. I gave them 1 week to create their own brands and slogans. I motivate them and express what is brands. What can you create your brands? How can you do it? And express their definitions. We talk about it. Then they met brainstorm and they looked up their dictionaries. They used their own vocabulary and drove their brands and colorful these pictures, as you see. And this is also my students' products. They used many colors and they use their imaginations, they use their dreams, and also they could produce all these brands. So their writing skills also improved with this activity. They like it very much. They sent all these brands with me through the email. My second subtitle is movie posters. As you see, I chose 2 different genres of these movies, Forrest Gump and Happy Death. Forrest Gump is a drama and Happy Death is a horror and thriller movies. So I chose different ones because my students are interested in watching movies. So this subtitle is suitable for their level, age, and interest also. It's okay for them. And as you see, I again use bold characters to emphasize prefer, watching, gerund, like, dislike, and them. I used blue one, them, because this is a pronoun, as you know. Do you think to express themselves freely? Have you ever heard in here present perfect tense? All these topics are my curriculum, 10th grade students. So I all of these language structures used in here. Let's go on. Another movie is Wonder. This is a bestseller in New York Times. Wonder is also a book and it's adapted from a movie. So I asked them these questions, and fourth questions is adapted by, again, in here, this is a present passive voice. So I used them, both characters. And do you want to read this novel? And I asked them, and they told me, yes, of course, we love reading and we want to read Wonder books. They told me, yes. These are landscapes in daily life. In here, I had 2 interesting landscapes, as you see. First one is about a list, friend, best friend, boyfriend, girlfriend, and food. And in here, did you like it? Did you like simple past tense? True, thick, and thin. In here, sorry. Şöyle. In here, true, thick, and thin. This is an idiom, and this is quoted from our 10th grade English book. So students will be more familiar with when they see and when they use it. So I use this vocabulary and grammar from our books. And now this is about social media. Students love talking about social media, so I use these pictures. Addicted to. This is, as you know, to is used with addicted, so I used in red. How much hours? Also, I use both characters for these language structures. And when I asked them, are you addicted to using social media? They told me, yes, of course I am. How much hours? They told me 20 hours in a week. And some others 40 hours in a week. What is your purpose to use social media? And they told me communication, gossiping, learn breaking news, sharing photographs, like these answers. Do you take a photo? I asked them. They told me yes, of course, sometimes we do. And these are also landscape in daily life. This is the cutest soap that you will steal from a hotel. Enjoy it. This is a joke, maybe. And I asked them, have you ever taken? They told me yes, of course. And this is prevent from. I try to teach them prevent from is used from preposition and being taken soaps. These are also passive voice. So I used these colored characters, agree with, also agree and with. I taught them some verbs used with prepositions, agree with, prevent from, like these. And last question, do you think people are selfish and stingy? Selfish and stingy both are adjectives, so I use in both characters too. And first question, what's the purpose of the writer? Students gave me lots of different answers because, as you see, thank you for not loving me. It forced me to love myself. It's written on the lorry, at the back of lorry. So I asked them and they told me, people don't know how to love themselves. They told me like this. And reflection, evaluation parts. My last part, evaluation, is about outcomes and conclusions. Yes, that's why I firstly I would like to mention about my reflection. My students and my students loved my presentation. Boring topic. It's about brains. That's why they were really willing to reply all these questions, and this made me very happy. And also, this satisfied me because my goal is applied successfully. My main goal was to help them speak English by using language structures, target vocabulary, nouns, adjectives, passive voice like these ones. Contributions to my students, let them express themselves because there is no wrong answers. Just make comment on it. Think outside the box. This is also idiom. Think in an original and create new ideas, intrinsic motivation and concentration, bottom-up skills, and you can integrate your curriculum into the linguistic landscapes and authentic materials. Able to infer meaning from linguistic landscape sources, make learning permanent. Yes, this is important because the Howard Gardner multiple intelligence, they create opportunities voice, as I mentioned, in language teaching methods. Lastly, I shortly mentioned this communication language teaching method. In this presentation, my purpose is both fluency and accuracy. That's why I motivated them during my presentation, and they were more willing to participate in my lesson. They practice language structures, target vocabulary, and speaking patterns. I try to motivate students' communicative competence, self-confidence, and self-esteem too. And that's the end of my presentation. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much.
Any questions you can ask me in chat also.